Hey guys, I'm Lindsay Czarniak, and I am really thrilled to talk about the Westport Library because I love my hometown library. And so when I'm asked the question, what do you think of the Westport Library? I think that it's a place where I have watched my children grow. I remember where they were stumbling around when they were 2 years old and when I was doing mommy and me classes, but now this is a place where I bring them, and it is an amazing resource for all the kids' books, but also the books that I can sink my teeth into. And additionally, I can escape from them here. I can come to this library and find a little space or a nook and just enjoy myself and get lost in whatever I'm trying to do for a little bit of time. So that's great. But this is truly a hidden gem in our town. Not so hidden, but for folks that don't know. So I don't want to tell too many people about it. All right, number two, who is your favorite writer? I will give you two. Number one, right now, I'm reading Colleen Hoover and her book Verity. I love suspense. I love scary things. That is like the number one genre that I gravitate to, besides reading biographies or autobiographies. I find that fascinating too. But anyway, her book Verity, phenomenal, super scary, cannot put it down. And then I also will throw out there David Shannon, because David Shannon is a children's book writer and an illustrator that my family, every time we pick up one of his books to read at bedtime, my kids love it. They're like, oh, David Shannon, because it's so great and they're always so memorable. Case of the Stripes is one, and No David is one of our favorites too. Number three, do you have any kind of motto or mantra that you live by? Second star to the right and straight on till morning. That's my favorite line, and that is from Peter Pan. And that was a line that when I was a kid really struck me. And I know it sounds cheesy, but I try to just think about it every so often and carry it along, because to me it means don't let anybody tell you no, follow your heart, all the things that realists say. I just think it's so important to have an imagination and to lead with kindness and to lead with wonder. And sometimes my husband calls it my woo, and he wishes that I could dial it down. But there you go, Peter Pan. All right, number four. What would you say is the most incredible thing that you've ever seen in your life? Wow. Incredible? Maybe it's been the past year. Maybe it's been what we've all dealt with the pandemic, because it is something that no one ever expected. And also the things that came out of it, as hard as they were, as they still are. And I know a lot of people suffered horrific loss. There were definitely moments of realization, and I think ways that people decided that they needed to change their lives for the better. So that's just one example. Beyond that, I need to come back to that one because I know there are so many incredible things, but that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Okay, and number five, as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? I have three. I wanted to be a marine biologist because I wanted to study sharks and dolphins. I wanted to be an animator because I loved art, and I wanted to be Katie Couric. In fact, my mom had a saying sometimes when I was getting in trouble, she'd say WWKD instead of what would Jesus do? What would Katie do? It's really embarrassing. But it was, anyway, I loved like watching the way she carried herself, and I don't know what that's about. I also was just into the news, and I loved watching when it was like live or breaking news. So now I sort of married Katie Couric, but in a man version, because my husband does the news and I do sports. Go figure. Maybe our kids will do weather. Anyway.